Good morning, everyone. My name is Junior Thompson, and I'm here to talk to you about incentives in the workplace and its effectiveness. Now, motivation looks different for each and every one of us. For me, what inspires me to work is purpose, knowing that my efforts make a difference. But for others, it might be a bonus, recognition, or even time off from work. And that's completely valid because motivation isn't a one size fit all kind of thing. I first learned this lesson during my time as a supervisor at Induja Global Solutions Agility, a call center, or a BPO as some of us might know it. And a quick story from when I was a supervisor in the call center. Now, my team's performance was steady, but it was not at all great. So I introduced a simple incentive, which was to issue free lunch to my performers and a half day to my top performers. And suddenly, like magic, people were early for work was exciting, and targets were being hit. One of my agents even brought his notebook to track his own day-to-day performance. But after 2 weeks of this, the excitement faded out. Persons stopped performing, overall performance dipped, and that's when I realized incentives can indeed work, but they're not the magical remedy for performance. Now, in understanding incentives in the workplace, they're used as tools to boost performance. They can be extrinsic in the form of money, bonuses, or even time off, or extrinsic in terms of one's own purpose, personal growth, or job satisfaction. A study by Clark and others in 2003 found that incentives in the workplace boost performance by 44% when done correctly. And that's awful, but they also found that incentives have a limit and they tend to have short-term results, and that's not always long-lasting. Now, sometimes you find that incentives will fail when done incorrectly. A study by Ryan in 1999 shows that too much rewards can undermine internal motivation, and this is referred to as over-justification effect. When people lose interest in a task because it's not like they're being rewarded anymore, so it's no longer meaningful for them. That's what I saw with my own team. Some agents performed only when there was a reward. Others started strong, then dipped back. But in a few who sustained high performance, those were found persons who found value in the work that they do. That is helping customers, solving problems, and learning new skills. Now, it's important that we learn to strike a balance when it comes down to incentives, because incentives are not bad. They can be a great tool to boost overall morale within a team, set clear performance targets, and recognize the efforts of team members. But they work best when paired with intrinsic motivators like purpose, autonomy, and mastery of one's skill. What author Daniel Pink calls the keys to long-term engagement in a study in 2009. As a leader, whether in a call center or in the police force, I've learned that you can't bribe people into passion. You can only support them, recognize them, and help them discover their way. Now, to sum it all up, and first have a complete and intimate understanding of incentives. Now, what are the impacts of incentives? They indeed boost performance, especially in the short term. However, they don't always last, and studies are there to prove that. They can energize a team, but they can't replace internal motivation, internal drivers within a person. We must use incentives wisely and not as a crutch, but as a bridge, one that connects efforts with purpose and rewards with real meaning. And now, I hope after this discussion, you have a better appreciation of what it means to effectively apply incentives within the workplace, to understand the benefits, to understand the limitations, and to understand the importance of merging and striking a balance between incentives, rewards, and internal motivation factors to ensure an effective and smooth running organization. I thank you so much for listening. I bid you farewell.